Brock Purdy, is he surrounded by a great team? Yes. But does he make plays? Yes. He played well in the Super Bowl. He played well in the NFC title game. Even that game against Green Bay in the playoffs, he was clutch. Brock Purdy is underrated, honestly, at this point. I think he's going to have another great year. And I think it's going to be time for everybody else to be like, all right, Brock Purdy can play. Dak Prescott, it has not shown up in the playoffs sometimes. And I'm going by the playoffs. Jared Goff has been way better than Dak in the playoffs. I'm going to look up the playoff wins, but I know Jared Goff being to a Super Bowl NFC title game, he's got way more wins. So I give Goff the advantage over Dak because Dak's had better teams and done less. Number 5 is Dak for me. He's the black Kirk Cousins. They're on the same level. They both underachieve a little bit in the playoffs. They both ball out in the regular season. But do you really think you can win a Super Bowl with them? Probably if you have the perfect team around them. But I don't think they can be the reason.
Purdy, he's not a scrub at all. He has probably the best team around him that he could possibly have. I could think of probably 7 more quarterbacks that you put him in that exact put them at the San Francisco 49er quarterback and they do the exact same thing, but none of them beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Let's go back to our top 15 votes when we voted top 10 in the NBS, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did 15, but yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Love made the top 10, right? He was number 10.
Right.
That's all teams. So my list, literally, when you asked me, Keo, I literally went to my top 15 quarterbacks and I grabbed all the NFC quarterbacks off my list and I gave you the list based on, if you go back and look at my text, it's literally in the order I gave you when you asked me my top 15, exactly the order. So then I get to number 4. I got Dak Prescott. I know y'all probably like, X, you are bugging. How is he in front of Brock Purdy? I keep telling y'all, it's no shade to Brock Purdy. I think that he's a good quarterback. I just think that that's the best team in football when you talk about the whole entire roster. I'm not knocking him. He's played well. He played well in the Super Bowl. I'm going to give him his flowers. But it was between Goff, Dak, and Purdy for the last 2 spots in my mind.
And that's enough, man. That's enough, man. It's my turn, man. We all know who the best quarterback in the NFC is. It's definitely ain't no damn Matthew Stafford, man. It's the guy that beat every single team that made the playoffs in the NFC. And it's Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the NFC, in my opinion. If you're talking about right now, when it comes to Brock Purdy, it's been like this last season throughout the entire season, including the playoffs. It's excuse after excuse when it comes to Brock Purdy. I could name 7 quarterbacks that I'll pick up Purdy. I could pick 6 quarterbacks that could make that throw. He got all these weapons. He got Mike Shanahan. He got the best player. It's like excuse after excuse, and people just don't want to give the guy
none
credit.
of those are lies.
Base what he's done. Brock Purdy's done off of a 2-year span. In 2 years, he's reached the NFC title game. He's reached the NFC title game. He's reached the Super Bowl. The things that we asked Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, and Josh Allen to do, they can't do that. But Brock Purdy's doing those things we asked those guys to do, but we're still criticizing Brock Purdy at the end of the day. That's my problem that I do have with that. Brock Purdy gets another year, and we'll see what he could do. He's the best quarterback in the NFC for me. I think Dak Prescott is, I would say, third or fourth best quarterback in the NFC. He's definitely a top. I just don't understand how Dak dropped all the way down. He was top 3 nearly in every single category. You want to talk about QBR, you want to talk about touchdowns, you want to talk about quarterback rating, you want to talk about completion percentage. He did all that. He was the runner-up for MVP, and he's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Not the NFL, the NFC. Shaquille.
Yeah. He's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFC, and I understand that he lost to Jordan Love in the Green Bay Packers. But if you want to talk about a top 5 quarterback as far as Dak Prescott, like he should be a top 5 quarterback. There should be no question. There shouldn't be no debate about that.
So you got Purdy 1. You said Dak 3 or 4. So give us your 5.
In no particular order, I have Brock Purdy in there. I have Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford.
Why no particular order?
Because I didn't really think about putting it in an order.
You just had 10 minutes.
No. Brock Purdy.
Just say 5. Give me 5.
Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and I would Jordan Love. Yeah, Jordan Love. I would put Jordan Love.
So I asked because I have a question for y'all. Because I think that a lot of times I want to go to like, this is not just these quarterbacks, this is just in general. When people ask me who's the best, I'm not talking about accomplishments, because there could be a guy that's more accomplished. But I'm talking about if we had a draft today, you telling me that you think Brock Purdy would be your number 1 pick at quarterback coming out of the NFC?
Yeah, he's the.
I just can't see it.
He's the typical prototype quarterback that I'm looking for to build around my team. That's what I'm looking for.
Keo, there's no reason Purdy should be, and I'm a Purdy fan. I have number 3. There's no way he's above Stafford, because when we saw Stafford with a really good team, he actually won the Super Bowl. He beat Brady and Burrow. He could throw the ball better, maybe better than anybody in the NFL. Those no-look throws, his arm is ridiculous. He makes Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua look like top 3 wideouts in the league. So, and when he had Sean McVay, like I said, like this guy's got Shanahan with that really good team. He won the Super Bowl. I don't know how how Purdy's over Stafford.
I just
on the Niners.
I just think Stafford it was when he won, he was surrounded by a great supporting cast. They had
what is Purdy?
I think Purdy.
He's around Ayuk, Debo, CMC, and Kittle.
I'll take Cooper Kupp and what's his name, Puka Nacua over the 2 that the Niners have.
Well, shut up.
Yeah, I would.
He's got Christian McCaffrey too.
Yeah. You have a 9-9 quarterback who we'll talk about in a second. But it kind of goes to like, I know we're not even on this subject. I'm not trying to rile Yvonne and see up by no means when I say this. But when we have the Michael Jordan, LeBron James argument, who's the GOAT? I'm starting to think that LeBron is maybe more accomplished, if you want to say that, by more points, all that. But I still wouldn't take him over Michael Jordan, because I just think if they're in their prime, Jordan is the better player. Well, my eyes tell me he's the better player. It's not the LeBron. It don't matter what LeBron does. His accomplishments can be out of the wall, but it doesn't mean he's better than Michael Jordan.
His accomplishments also aren't better, X. He's got less MVPs, less defensive player of the years.
Well, the defensive player of the year, now people are starting to come out where if that might have been a little rigged back then.
Okay, but you take that away, like scoring titles, MVPs. Yeah. All LeBron has is like longevity, like points and longevity assists. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Longevity, he's the most durable probably athlete ever in terms of like the high standard. I'm just saying, like,
come on.
I'm just saying the actual accomplishments he actually doesn't have more.
Come on, man. It took Brock Purdy 2 years to do what he's doing right now. We know what happened when Matthew Stafford was in Detroit. He had one of the best receivers of all time, Calvin Johnson. That's the name, Calvin Johnson.
Is that Detroit team as good as this Niners team? No.
Is it even on the same?
But you can't blame Brock Purdy for that, though.
I don't blame him.
You're blaming what people are doing. They're blaming Brock Purdy. Gets put in front of him. He can't control that.
We called him a top 5 quarterback.
You can't control what is put in front of them.
We all have him in the top 5 in the NFC. Nobody's downing him. We say he's top 5 in the NFC.
Yeah, but it's excuses though. It's like when you mention Brock Purdy, it's a lot of ifs when it comes to Brock Purdy. Why can't you take those ifs out of the way and just say, okay, I give flowers to Brock Purdy, what he has accomplished and what he's done.
But
me putting him
Brock
third is giving him flowers.
There's a lot of ifs when you in 2 years. Look what he's done in 2 years.
But that's all I'm saying. You asking for the ifs though. But when you start,
you don't make those ifs about Joe Burrow though.
When you start to separate guys, you have to. So okay, that's perfect example. You said Joe Burrow. You know why we put Patrick Mahomes over Burrow? Because if Burrow, you beat him in the playoffs.
No,
but he's actually won Super Bowls. You didn't do that. So we're putting him over you. And when you start to break down tiers, you have to look at that. That's why I have Jordan Love over Dak Prescott. Because, Dak, you balled out. But Jordan Love beat you with a roster that wasn't as good as your roster head-to-head in Dallas. And my eyes tell me right now, I would take Jordan Love over Dak Prescott.
And the only reason why I even have Purdy in my top 5 is because all of those ifs that you complain about, I use those ifs to his advantage. Because if any of these other guys that I had in my top 5 were in his exact same position, they still wouldn't have beat Kansas City last year. In my opinion,
guess what?
He maximized what he could do, so they couldn't have done anything better. So he did exactly what he was supposed to do. As a good quarterback, top 5 quarterback.
But guess what? Brock Purdy beat all those quarterbacks that you put ahead of them head to head that all made it to the playoffs.
All right, I'm gonna end with this. And we can stop. I promise you. I just have a question for you. Who do you think's better, Johnny Manziel or Matt Leinart in college? In your opinion, I'm just asking your opinion.
Matt Leinart.
You said that to protect your argument. Okay, let's change it. AJ McCarron, I know you love him. Is he better than Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, he is.
Come on.
I don't even need the debate about that. Like, we know who's the better quarterback.
All I'm saying is when you have a loaded roster, it changes things. It does.
Once again, you're making excuses for him, though, man. Yeah, you are, though. You're making excuses for him.
Had a loaded roster.
So Philadelphia,
and he's asked to change the organization.
So
he's out the league in 5 years.
So Philadelphia right now, they got a loaded roster. So are we going to make excuses for Jalen Hurts this season?
Hey, Jalen Hurts won MVP too.
But guess what? Brock Purdy beat them head to head though this past season.
Hey, didn't the Eagles beat them the last season?
No, he got injured.
But they beat the Niners.
He didn't beat him though. We're talking about quarterbacks. We're not talking about the team.
You out. Hey, I'm not mad at you, bro. You're supposed to stick by your guy, but if Purdy does it again,
here we go.
Hey, you think he's gonna do it again?
Well, if we're talking about quarterbacks, you can't measure a team's success. Talking about he beat them head to head. None of them other quarterbacks play defense.
The quarterback is the most pivotal, high profile position that we look at when we go and question the game and criticize the game. We go straight to the quarterbacks. The quarterback is the most talked about things when it comes to football.